Dear friends, Secretary General, colleagues, it is my great pleasure to welcome you all in Antalya on the occasion of NATO ministerial meeting. And once again, I thank you very much for coming here and being with us today. Tomorrow, we will have intense discussions ahead of the Hague summit next month. I wanted tonight's dinner to give us the opportunity to have an informal exchange in a more relaxed atmosphere. I hope you find this place enough relaxing. I couldn't think of a better place to do this than the ancient city of Side along the coast of the Mediterranean Sea. I hope you enjoy the picturesque view of this venue, reflecting our natural beauties and cultural heritage. The echoes of history, where the consequential decisions are made throughout centuries, will certainly help us engage in a deeper reflection. Of course, humanity came a long way since the 7th century BC, when the city of Side was established. However, the universal rule of peace through the collective strength and cooperation of those that are bound by shared values remains as valid today as it was back then. In fact, NATO, as the most successful alliance in the history of mankind, is a living example of this principle. After all, the strength of our alliance doesn't only come from the military clout we collectively possess. More importantly, it is due to the fact that we represent a community of shared values, principles, and ideas. This is why I believe that our meeting tomorrow is particularly important and timely one. Because the very basic values of peace and stability that our alliance stands for are threatened in an unprecedented way in places like Ukraine and Gaza. This is happening while hybrid challenges as well as terrorism pose grave dangers for our democracies. In addressing these challenges, our strongest asset continues to be our unity and solidarity. In other words, the core rising data of our alliance remains as vitally important as it was 75 years ago. So let us make sure that no matter what our differences may be, we remain united in our ultimate objectives and commitment to one another. At the same time, let us also not forget that we need to couple our political will with the necessary capabilities to back up our aspirations and commitments. But we need to do so in an effective, fair, and inclusive manner. This is why certain topics have become more relevant than ever in these critical times. These are fair transatlantic burden sharing within our alliance, unrestricted defense industry cooperation among allies. By the way, I am doing your job now by reading all these things. Investing in our future collective defense through innovation. Surely some of these issues require hard and bold decisions by our governments in a world of pressing responsibilities. Moreover, in many allied countries, security is taken for granted and there is reluctance to act according to the evolving hardcore requirements of security. So it is up to us to explain in an unalarming but very clear terms the magnitude of the threats facing us all. We need to do this while we explaining that it takes to address these challenges and assuring our publics that we are not alone in this process, since allies continue to stand for one another in this endeavor. Dear colleagues, these are all issues we are going to discuss at length tomorrow, so tonight I don't want to take too much of your time, but I am hoping that under the shadows of the iconic landmarks of Side, we will be able to see the common future that we have to build together in peace and security. I am also hoping that the Turkish cuisine and music will also help clear off our minds for tomorrow's discussion. Once again, welcome and thank you.
Now, I would like to invite His Excellency Mark Rutte, Secretary General of NATO, to deliver a speech. Thank you very much.